Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of the Short Guys podcast. We got a great episode today talking about basically everything. We have a lot of breaking news. We'll go over a little speed round of the FIBA news, James Harden versus Daryl Morey, our biggest what ifs. We have a special guest, Hudson, here.
Shout out my boy Hudson. He's going to be hanging out with us today. So if you hear a baby, he's just chiming in. He's got some toys. He may be throwing stuff.
Here's some hot takes.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be chiming in.
And then we have a little NFL talk. We'll talk about if a team can win with a mediocre quarterback, what is the best division in football? And then we'll react to Zeke going to the Pats, Dalvin Cook going to the Jets, and then our fantasy draft at the end, your guys' favorite, our top fast food chains. So we're going to go into a speed round. I'm going to start with your thoughts about each thing. Let's start with the FIBA news.
FIBA news?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think we swung and missed on the FIBA. About the Team USA, dude. They're looking good. And I think we were kind of talking about who's that superstar they have. Ant-Man is that guy, dude.
Yeah.
He's that guy. They're looking damn good, too, and they're probably going to win, honestly. So that's kind of what my news is. We kind of missed the bar on that one.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, they still don't have any superstar, but we talked about how there's breakout stars each time.
Right.
And it looks like Ant's going to be that breakout star.
Yeah.
We were kind of waiting, honestly, to see who it
Who's
would
going
be.
to be, right?
But I guess it's fucking Ant.
It's the Ant-Man. He
I'm
looked
down
good.
for it, man. I'm down for it.
They're looking good, so we'll see how that goes.
For the video, this is not a sponsor, but Celsius, if you want to sponsor us, here you go. This is the orange sparkling. Hudson, he likes it.
He likes it.
He likes it. All right, so next for the speed round, James Harden versus Daryl Morey. What do you think about that?
It's tough, man. They go back a long time, and I just think that it went sour. If I had to guess, Daryl Morey promised him a contract that he said, you take a little less money, we'll get you paid this next upcoming summer, and obviously it didn't happen, so he wants out of there. And just him going out live and just saying how he's a liar, he's never going to play for me, I just think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in his shoes, really can't blame him, man. If that's how you feel and you don't want to play for him again, you got to do what you got to do. And we know James Harden, he has a tendency. He'll show up at the camp, 50 pounds overweight,
Fat suit.
still drop a triple-double, but he'll be out of there eventually. I don't see him playing for the Sixers again.
So, what team do you think that he could go to?
Oh, are we getting the ones that we like or what we think? Because
Let's do both.
I have two different. So my one that I think he would be really good in.
Yeah.
It probably won't happen, but my number one team is the San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs.
Just think about this. Just close your eyes for a second. Think about that young talent that they have. You have Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, pause. Okay, no, we're good.
We're good, actually. We saved it.
We saved it. Let me check the camera quality real quick. All right, we'll just get this out. Good right there.
Spurs, though, if they could keep Victor, that would be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He loves he loves Texas. So just bring him in the San Antonio area. Him and Victor. He's running the point for Victor for how many years? I know he probably doesn't want to play for Popovich. I can't see them getting along very well. But
yeah, that'd be.
That was just the first team I thought of. I mean, I got a bunch of other teams, but you can go with yours first.
So mine,
Yeah.
it would be a little throwback. I'm gonna say the Rockets.
Okay.
Like you said, with a young team,
Mm-hmm.
Rockets have a very young team.
Mm-hmm.
They have Fred VanVleet, who can be like that second guy.
Right.
And then I feel like he just always does good when he has to carry a team. And I feel like this team he'd kind of have to carry because I don't really see Fred VanVleet leading them.
No.
Well,
And they're a young team too, so it's kind
And
of the same.
he talked
thing.
about last year how he wanted to go back to the Rockets.
Right.
So I could see that.
I can see it too. I think a nice fit that I think would be nice. I mean, obviously we'll get into the Giannis news, but bring him to the Bucks, baby.
That would be sick.
Have him, Giannis. You got a big and Brook Lopez that played probably his best year ever last year. I mean, he's getting old, but you
He's
bring him
underrated,
in.
too.
Take a little pressure off of Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. I think him with the Bucks would look pretty nasty.
Yeah, it depends on if they had a trade. I feel like they might have to trade away Chris Middleton. Or someone.
Probably.
Or Drew. One of the two.
One of the two, yeah. But either way, I think bringing in Harden would take pressure off either or. I can see them probably getting rid of Drew just because I think they just re-signed Middleton this year. So.
And then I was just excited about thinking about this.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say the Lakers.
Oh,
I know it never happened, but I just because it's the Lake Show and all the drama in the Hollywood. I mean, somehow LeBron and AD played Westbrook, so why not just try Harden? And honestly, because Harden, he can shoot. We know that.
Mhm.
He actually could become just a spot-up shooter.
Yeah, definitely.
And we also seen LeBron play the point.
Right.
So I feel like it could work. Obviously, the Lakers are stingy,
Mm-hmm.
and Rob Pelinka, he doesn't like trading these young pieces.
Right.
Like, if it would work, I feel like they might have to trade Austin Reeves,
Probably.
but that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
I honestly would rather have Austin Reeves right now still.
Yeah, true. I mean, he's got the upside. Harden's going
Yeah.
down.
And speaking of Austin Reeves, and going back on FIBA, we see how consistent he is. He does his job. Like, he's the sixth man for that team.
Right, he does his job and he looks good, man. I like the FIBA team. We underestimated him, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, me too. You got any more teams?
I got one more, just because I think this is a little out there, but I would think the fit would be low key kind of nice. Let's go to New Orleans Pelicans.
The Pelicans.
I just thought about this. I have like 4 or 5 teams written down, but I think the Pelicans might be nice because you think about having Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Zion if he stays healthy, Jonas Valanciunas. You got 2 young guys and Herb Jones and the dude that just looks like a Trey Murphy.
Trey Murphy's good.
Dude, they literally look like the same player.
Yeah.
They do, so I get them mixed up, but they're good, dude. I think they're both be good. Uh-oh, screaming baby. Hold on a second. Go ahead and give your
alright.
response.
So, the Pelicans, I like it. I just don't know. I want to see who they have to trade.
Right? How would that happen? I don't know, but I just.
I mean,
feel
they
like,
have the trade pieces. So like Zion, I know this is crazy, but Zion going to the Sixers, him and Embiid.
Oh,
Like, if it was a
that'd be nuts.
blockbuster trade, if for some reason Zion was like, fuck this, I want out of New Orleans.
Right.
But so first, I have fucking 3 more still. I'll just
Okay.
go quick. I'm just gonna say straight up Portland. Dame for Harden. Let's just see it.
Low key.
Dame wants the championship culture. He can go play with Embiid, and then in Portland, Harden can lead a young team again. Straight up, Harden for Dame.
Yeah.
Both players want out of there, and it's just becoming a mess the longer they stay. And then I'm just gonna have the Knicks, because the Knicks can trade young pieces,
Ooh.
and it's New York. If they want to become one big shit show, they can.
Well, just quick note: are you keeping Brunson or getting rid of Brunson?
I would try to keep Brunson,
Okay.
because you still have a lot of key players you could trade. If they wanted to, how a lot of people are kind of hating on Randall, they could trade Randall.
True.
Or like they still have a lot of young pieces
They
too. E-Man quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They have Quentin Grimes,
Yep.
and then I'm just saying the Clippers. Let's just join Russ.
Yeah.
Because they need another person. Kawhi's out for a while, and then
Right.
who knows how healthy Paul George will be.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad fit. I like that.
All right, so the next on our somewhat long speed round, we're gonna go with NFL. We'll go real quick to this actual speed round. All right, can a team win with a mediocre quarterback?
Realistically, I think nowadays, back in the day, you probably could, but nowadays you do need a top 10 quarterback. I would say it's possible if you have a super great defense, your special teams are good, and you have a guy that's serviceable to run the offense. A.E. Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
He missed one throw to Emmanuel Sanders against the Chiefs,
I can see that.
and they could have won. Or Jared Goff with the Rams and went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he was lighting everyone up, but he just ran into Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But if he would have done better, they only scored 3 points. If they would have scored 2 touchdowns, they win that game. So
Yeah.
I think if you just have a good defense, you could win without it. But nowadays, you need a top 10 guy.
And I was gonna say that I feel like if you want your quarterback to lead and be like the man,
Mm-hmm.
you need a top 10, maybe top 15. That's only if your defense is crazy good.
Right.
Because looking at last season, Kirk Cousins, he's probably top 15.
Mhm.
He had around a top 10, 11 season,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not an actual top 10. So when the time came, he needed to step up. He choked.
Right, that's true.
And speaking of Kirk Cousins, I finished the quarterback
You
series.
did.
I fucking love Kirk Cousins.
It's hard.
He's such a family man.
He is, and it's hard not to like him after watching that. Like I didn't like him because obviously he went to Michigan State,
Yeah.
and he plays in the division with the Lions. And you don't really know much about him, but watching that quarterback,
Yeah.
dude,
I just knew him
It's hard to
because-
not hate him.
I just knew him because he played at MSU, and then
Yeah.
I remember watching him step up when RG3 got hurt.
Right.
But I didn't really know him like that on
Right.
a personal level. I love him. And then Mahomes is obviously Mahomes. He sounds Kermit the Frog, but he wins. He's my boy.
Dude, he's a dog. Watching that, I just love how he interacts with like
Oh.
Max Crosby and other dudes. He just goes off
He's-
on them.
God, he's so funny, bro.
Yeah, he
he's
is.
like, I'm him. Oh,
Right.
man.
Gives you like goosebumps, like oh shit, like he's literally
And like
him.
he can back it up too. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
All right, next. What is the best division in football?
Okay. I'm gonna do mine really quick, and I have
Yeah.
a hot take.
Alright, let's see it.
Okay, so my best division in football right now is the AFC North. So you got the Bengals, Browns, Ravens, and Steelers.
Okay.
I think they're all super deep teams. And my hot take, for instance, or whatever, this is for the clip, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the division.
Holy shit.
After watching the preseason, see how Kenny Pickett's balling with George Pickens, I know that defense is going to be good with Mike Tomlin. I have them winning the division. I think I had the Bengals at first, but you don't know what Joe Burrow's health. You don't know how the new offense will be with Lamar. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North, probably 11 to 12 games.
Honestly, let's make our first bet.
Yeah.
If you are into betting, let's make a bet on the Steelers winning the division.
Okay.
That's like, now that I think about it, you do make some, like, Burrow out.
Right.
I honestly didn't think about Lamar trying to figure out the new offense.
Right.
We love Odell, but we
Uh-huh.
actually don't know how Odell's going to do.
Right. I know they got Zay Flowers, a nice young rookie. I think he looks. I saw him in the preseason make a play. But dude, I just thought about it and I watched him like, these dudes are balling. Pickett looks good, and I have them winning the division again. I are now. They have a lot of weapons. They brought in Allen Robinson, they have Deontay
They
Johnson,
got Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. They have another second-year guy, Jalen Warren. I don't know if you see him take off for I think like 70 yards, score a touchdown a couple days ago.
Yeah, well,
And they have T.J. Watt coming back. I mean, they have Minka Fitzpatrick in the backfield. They brought in Patrick Peterson from the Vikings.
holy shit.
And Mike Tomlin doesn't win less.
I think he's always 500.
Yeah, so I have them win the division. I like it, dude.
Damn, shout out to my dad, Craig. He's a huge Steelers fan.
Oh,
If this
shout out,
happens,
Craig.
he'll probably go crazy. He'll
Yeah.
probably want to be on an episode, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went with the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the AFC East.
Right.
Because especially now with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets, you have the Bills, who's a Super Bowl contender. You have the Jets, who are most likely a top 6 team right now.
Right.
And then you have the Dolphins. If Tua can stay healthy,
Mm-hmm.
they are top in the AFC, top 4. And then you have the Patriots. If Mac Jones and Bill Belichick figure it out,
Yep.
they're one of the top 8 AFC teams.
Right.
But that's just I think that'll be the most competitive, especially with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets now. But yeah, that's more my safe bet. I did not think you're gonna go AFC North.
Yeah, I realistically I do think those are probably the top divisions in football. I can't see NFC division being the top. The East is probably better. I don't even know. They're all good around teams. I mean, you can argue any team besides the Patriots because screw the Patriots can win that division. But I think anyone realistically can win the AFC North.
I was very tempted to say AFC West because usually that is one of the more competitive leagues because you have the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
Right.
But as of lately, the only real threat to the Chiefs are the Chargers.
Right.
But we don't know how the Broncos will be, and we have no idea how the Raiders are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Raiders will be okay, but I don't think
It's
they're
like for that league, it's either it's up there or it's just dog shit and the
Right.
Chiefs win.
exactly. So, yep.
All right, and then what do you think about Zeke joining the Patriots?
Zeke joining the Patriots, I like it because I think that he's not the same guy he is, obviously. And they already have Ramondre Stevenson. I took him in our fantasy draft.
Yeah.
He's more of a catch the ball, obviously run the ball, but he's more of a pass catching running back. I think this gets a little bit of pressure off him, and I think Zeke's going to be that third down guy that comes in on 3rd and short, 3rd and 5. He's a good pass blocker, and I think he'll probably get. Hot take: Zeke will score 10 touchdowns this year.
I like that. I like that bet.
I just think he'll. I think in the red zone they're going to give it to him. He's a power back, and the Patriots have a decent offensive line. I don't know if that makes them go over the hump or makes them win more games, but it's a good pick for him.
Yeah.
And he got a little paycheck. I think he has like $6 million. So
Yeah, it's like 1 year or something.
yeah, so it's a little, but that's okay. What do you think?
I basically said the same thing. I think it'll be a very good fresh start, especially with him with Belichick.
Right.
Because I feel like Dallas is kind of. So Dallas is like the LA Lakers of football.
Yep.
There's a huge cult there, and there's so much pressure there to perform.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you perform and do well, or like consume you. Like we saw with Russell Westbrook, and he just wants out of there.
Right.
But I think for Zeke, getting out of that situation in Dallas and just being able to play football again. And like you said, we saw him going to number 15 again. Back in the Ohio State
Oh yeah, it's gonna bring back.
So I feel like Belichick is one of the best coaches ever. He'll use him smartly. He'll probably use him for especially 3rd downs and maybe some passes.
For sure.
Because I feel like Zeke's good catching the ball as a running back.
Yep.
So I think it'll just be a fresh start for him.
Yep.
And it's New England. I feel like that, if anything, that's where players can like rejuvenate their career.
Yep, I agree.
So now the last speed round.
Yep.
What do you think Cook's going to the Jets?
I love it, dude. I think they're building a monster over there. They have Brees Hall, who did get injured last year, coming back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
He seems healthy. Have you seen Hard Knocks at all?
Yeah, I've been watching a few episodes.
Yeah.
Of that.
So the newest episode, they had him running the ball, and I mean, he looks good. Like, you'd think with tearing ACL, you'd want to wear a knee brace or something, but
he's not.
He's not. He's just going full out and doing it, man. So I think him and Dalvin Cook is probably the best running back duo in the NFL right now. I don't even know if that's an argument. Two stacked dudes. Brees Hall would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. They gave it to his teammate Garrett Wilson. But Dalvin Cook's going to take the pressure off. You're going to be able to run the ball more, and it's just going to make it easier for Aaron Rodgers to cook this year.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. I think Rodgers will find him easily.
Yep.
He knows how to use his weapons very well.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to be a bandwagon, but I'm kind of falling in love with the Jets team. They're just so funny. They have a lot of like these young guys, and this mixing of Rodgers. Like I used to hate Rodgers because he played for the Packers, and I was like, I just don't like him.
Right.
But he's actually really chill. This is a really relaxed dude, and this happened to me last year watching the Lions on the Hard Knocks. Lions became one of my favorite teams.
Yep.
But it's a whole different vibe with the Jets team. Like it shows like Rodgers was like always overlooked as like a asshole. He's actually a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy. I just think the thing we talked about this earlier too is like I think he just has a regenerated or I don't know what word I just said, but rejuvenated energy with these young dudes. Like it just makes him like he's going out to Taylor Swift concerts, he's going out to the New York Knicks games, going to the Rangers games. I mean, he's loving being there. His best friend's Sauce Gardner, and he's our age, and he's fucking
like he's dope. And like in the Hard Knocks show, like you can see where it says the Gotham City. Like I feel like they're just bringing that whole culture of like we're just gonna have fun, but we're gonna go for your throat.
Right.
Like I'm gonna have to play for them Madden.
Yeah, it'll be fast. All gas, no brakes.
Like I just love that team.
Yeah, they're looking good. I like it.
All right, so now we're getting into the meat of the show. We're going with the biggest NBA what ifs. I'm very excited for this part.
So am I.
So
you go first. You tell your one. We'll go back and talk about how I react to that. We'll talk about that, and then I'll go, and you just want to go back and forth. Go down our list.
I want to kind of go like this. We'll go from the time frame when it happened, and then I want to kind of like predict what would the NBA would look like now.
Okay, all right, I like that.
Because then like that's the whole point of what if.
Yeah, exactly.
So this one wasn't even on my list in the beginning. But I saw it on Facebook maybe like 2 days ago.
Shout out Hudson eating the water bottle here.
But so back in 2010, before the big three, the Heatles happened, the Bulls could have signed D Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh in 2010 if they were able to trade Luol Deng to the Clippers.
Okay.
So that team would have been on the Bulls, a starting lineup of D Rose, D Wade, LeBron, Bosh, and Noah. And just my thought process through this whole thing, if that would have happened, Rose would have never been playing, in my opinion, that last quarter. Because they probably would have been up 30 against the Sixers.
Right.
Or who even knows if they would have been playing the Sixers. I think Rose would have stayed completely healthy. I think Noah would have been one of the top centers a lot longer because you're playing with LeBron. I think only issue, Wade, his career might have been more iffy because I feel like Rose would have rose above him and became that second guy. But honestly, I think this team would have been the first super team before the Warriors.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
And if this would have happened, I think obviously LeBron would have made it his 8 or 10 finals in a row. But I feel like this team, they would have been the first team to have a three-peat since the Lakers.
Yeah, I can see it. They all stayed healthy. I do see that, dude. I think the only knock I think that would have happened with this is I think that LeBron James' legacy would not be the same as it is now. Because I think if he would have went to the Bulls and won a couple championships there, I think the Jordan hater or Jordan lovers would say, "Oh, you had to go to Chicago to win. You're trying to be in Jordan's shoes." Like that's just looking from the outside looking. I think that would have been something to worry about. You okay, buddy? All right. Yeah, I do think that. I mean, realistically, who are the teams that the Eagles ran into? The Pacers were a good
In
team.
2010, yeah, the Pacers and the Celtics. But I
Pacers
feel
and
like
Celtics, yeah.
they would have dominated
I
this team
think so
so more.
too. Yeah, they would have made those finals. Do you think they would have won more championships than the Eagles?
Yeah, because I feel like that first year against the Mavs. Oh, it's him.
Shut up, Hudson.
The first one against the Mavs, how LeBron and Wade kind of came up short and Bosh.
Yeah,
Those three would have came up short, but then you would have had Rose. The young Rose would have came up clutch.
right.
And yeah, it might have people would have said Rose saved LeBron's legacy that finals.
Yeah,
Rose is like that's just another weapon.
that's
And then
true.
you have Noah trying to lock up Dirk and be a pest.
Yeah.
That too.
I think that would have been super scary. It really would have.
Well, Like you said though, like obviously it probably would have affected LeBron's career more. I think he wouldn't have been as maybe good as a player.
right.
But I just feel like he would probably have more rings, which also would have helped this thing. I feel like he would at least have 6.
Yeah, I think so too. You could easily say you could have won. Because who knows how long this team would have stuck together. Because when LeBron left the Heat, he said that, or I guess he didn't really say, but Bosh and Wade were getting older. They were falling out of their prime.
And that's
but you
why-
have a young D Rose.
Yeah.
You could stick on that team
because
longer.
if D Rose is playing there too, I just think about it this way.
Yeah.
Maybe Wade wouldn't have been tearing on his body as much either.
That's true.
Like Rose could have taken on more of the minutes and that
Right.
lets Wade sit back and
Right.
yeah, that team would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy. I'm just curious what the roster was looking like. I mean,
On the bench.
yeah, because I think that's huge in champions. Who are the.
It would have been the 2010 Bulls, yeah.
Carlos Boozer, Taj Gibson. Those are Kyle Korver was on that team.
Oh my god.
The White Mamba, Brian
See,
Scalabrine.
they had a bat for 2010, their bench would have been fine.
Yeah, that would have been really nasty. Damn, that's crazy. That would have been crazy. What if that actually
Yeah,
happened?
shout out, that's kind of why I wear the Bulls jersey.
ZO2.
Yeah, ZO2. Oh man. All right, yeah. You're next.
Okay. My biggest what if. You okay, buddy? Again, sorry for the screaming baby. I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do here.
Yeah. we're doing it.
We'll still get into this though, but obviously we went through and talked about how I was a big Rockets fan when Harden was over there. So my biggest what if right now is if Chris Paul didn't get hurt in the 2018 Western Conference Finals, plus the Rockets wouldn't have missed the most threes in NBA history in Game 7. You think about that, dude, they were up 3-2 against the Golden State Warriors. They should have won. And you think about that, James Harden, Chris Paul would have got their ring. Who knows if they would have stuck together. I mean, Hudson's got so much to say. But I really like that team, dude, and they won 61 games. I think they would beat the Warriors. They would beat the Cavs because the Cavs, that was their worst team in the finals in 2018 because you had LeBron and Kevin Love and Matthew Dellavedova and
That's a rough team.
who else did they have? They had JR. They brought in Larry Nance and Kyle Korver, and they were just a nasty team, like not good nasty, bad nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, doesn't pull his hammy. He gets his ring. Harden gets his ring.
It could have changed Harden's whole career, honestly.
Whole career. Who knows if he would leave to go to Brooklyn and Philly or, you know?
I don't think he would have left.
I
He
don't
would
think
have
he
had the
would've.
Rockets for a while now.
Right.
Damn. And then the Rockets would have been rebuilding right now.
And who would the Warriors be if they didn't win that finals either? Would KD stay?
I think he would have stayed, but it honestly hurt his legacy even more.
Right.
Like, we wouldn't be talking about KD that much. And also, I like deep dive into everything.
Yeah.
I think KD would have never tore his Achilles back in that next year because that's a whole nother series they had to play in the finals.
Exactly.
So maybe, I think the Warriors would have the same record, but there's been a lot more pressure on them in 2019.
Right. No, we should probably take a break.
Alright,
We'll be
take a
back.
break. We'll hop right back.
Gotta feed the baby.
Gotta feed the baby. We're back and Hudson is ready to go.
He's ready to go.
So Jake just said about his what if with Chris Paul never getting hurt and the Rockets. If they at least maybe like 2 threes, but
Yeah, because then what? They went 9 for like 37 or some
they
shit like
missed
that.
28 straight.
Yeah.
That's a choke fest.
That's a very big choke.
Alright, so my number 2, you already know. The Lakers get CP3 trade to go through. I think this would just help my whole argument.
Yeah.
This would help Kobe maybe even pass Jordan. He'd at least get one more ring. Him and CP3, if he got CP3, I think just that 1 year maybe, that first year, they would have beaten the Mavs and they could have beaten the Heatles.
Right.
Because after that, LeBron just starts getting
He
more
was on
dominant.
his dominant, yeah.
And Kobe gets starting older because Kobe, people think like, yeah, he played 20 seasons, but he started playing professional basketball at 17.
Right.
The only other player that's played that long and stayed healthy is basically LeBron.
Right.
But I think Kobe also wouldn't have carried the team at the end of his 17th season where he tore his Achilles.
Right.
So I think that would have been huge. And Chris Paul would have finally gotten his ring. So instead of Dirk having that finals run, Kobe would have finally gotten his 6th ring. He would have tied Jordan. The people, the clip people, YouTube, are almost 1,000 people. You guys don't think I'm as crazy. But he would have had another ring. CP would have finally had just another ring. And shit, maybe he could have gotten another ring of Houston and he could have had 2 rings. And we'd be talking about Chris Paul is one of the best point guards of all time. But Dave Stern was a bitch.
Shout
R.I.P.
out.
But he just didn't want to see Kobe get another ring.
True.
For some reason.
I'm just doing a little research. So right now, if Chris Paul was traded in 2011 when the trade got vetoed, he would have been 26 years old.
Yeah, he would have been in his prime.
Yeah, in his prime, and who knows, he could have took that Lakers team to different heights after Kobe. That would have been a nice little transition.
Yeah, and then
Because Kobe played to what, 2016?
Yeah.
So that would have been 5 years together. Who knows how many titles they would have won?
So I feel like just one. It's
Probably
still
one. Okay.
One, maybe the max 2, because you still have the Heatles.
Right.
But
Who knows, after Kobe was gone, who would they bring in, though? You know what I mean?
so that's another thing. Maybe another free agent would have seen the Lakers as like, oh, I can go play CP3.
Right, he just played with Kobe. I mean, he took a back seat because it.
Shit, maybe fucking KD was like, I'm gonna go play with Chris Paul instead of the Warriors.
Dude, you never know. He
Oh
could have,
my
though.
God, David Stern, what were you? Oh my God.
David Stern, dude. Oh man, what? Because then he goes to the Clippers after that.
Yeah.
So he still ends up in LA, but I mean, those Clippers team were nice, but no one ever took him seriously.
Lob
to win.
City was very cool,
Yeah.
especially for a 2K
Right.
when we'd play, and I'd come back on this kid down 30 at halftime.
Oh my god, dude. We used to play fucking games. We would do game 7s. We played 7 games in a row, full 10-minute or 8-minute quarter games. We used to play that game way too much.
I'll never forget, we were downstairs, and I think I'd like the Jazz. He was kicking my ass. You were up by 30 at
I was getting
halftime.
way too cocky.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to come back. And it was like, I think it's 2K16 where
Yeah.
I go corner every time and I hit threes.
Yeah.
And then I come back, and I think I ended up winning by 30 in the fourth.
Yeah. You came back and beat my. I remember that too. I was so pissed. Like, I didn't even want to talk to you because you came back and beat me that bad.
Oh, that was funny.
That
Good
was
times.
funny. Good times. But yeah, dude, CP to the Lakers, if him and Kobe, oh, that would have been nasty. He never had a true point guard either. I mean, yes,
No.
Steve Nash later years, but
He had Derek Fisher, but
he's not CP.
no, he never had an all-star point guard.
Right? That would have been an interesting fit how that would work with him at the 2 and actual
Yeah.
point guard feeding him. That'd
Or
be
maybe
interesting.
Chris Paul just choked and showed that he's actually not good enough.
Right, that's true too.
But
That's true.
all right, what do you got for yours?
My number 2 is if back in I think 2017 or
17,
18,
yeah.
what if the 76ers drafted Jason Tatum over Markelle Fultz? I don't know how this is relevant to all time, but I think I just kind of stuck it to more basic or more real,
Really?
recent.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be crazy. Think about that. Tatum was doing his thing in Duke, obviously. He had his
Yeah.
thing. Lonzo Ball was doing his thing in UCLA. Markelle Fultz jumped to the scene in Washington,
Out of
but
nowhere.
it was a 1-year wonder out of nowhere. And didn't Boston trade with Philly for that number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
So if they traded, if they never traded that, and let's say Philly or whatever,
Because
if-
one of the teams were scared to take that first pick. They wanted to mess
Exactly.
up, which they fucking did.
exactly they did. I mean, Lonzo, you say what you want and how he is. I mean, I think he's a good player that still has upside. Shout out him
My boy Lonzo.
ripping on Stephen
The
A.
jersey, fuck Stephen A. I'm on Lonzo's side. Stephen A. did say you can't get out of the chair, and then he proved him wrong.
Right.
And then Stephen A. was like, "Oh shit, you're still not healthy." But no,
Right.
he's obviously not healthy yet. But he can get out of a fucking chair.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, just going back to imagine if Tatum was on the 76ers right now with him and Embiid and would they still end up getting Ben Simmons, Probably not. I mean, you think of nowadays it's easy to say how good they would be together, but if they grew up together and having those two, how dominant would they actually be?
I'm just
nowadays?
gonna say a hot take.
Okay.
If the Sixers did draft Tatum, Tatum and Embiid would have a ring already.
Yeah.
They'd have a ring before Tatum and Brown.
Right. You think about would that be a better duo,
It
Tatum
would
and
be.
Embiid over
It's-
Tatum and Brown?
Like Pat just said, I think Tatum and Brown actually they don't complement each other
Right.
because they're both
The same player, pretty much.
very ball dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I think about top duos, which we'll go over, Kyrie and LeBron, they could at least do pick and rolls with each other.
Right.
Kobe and Shaq pick and roll. Pippen.
Jordan Pippy. Shout out Jordan Pippy.
But they didn't really do pick and rolls, but they're defensively a force.
Right.
And then KD and Steph, like, damn, yeah, Tatum and Brown, one of them need to leave.
I think so. I think you had to pay Brown just because with the new CBA you had to pay him, and they did make a finals. But in the long run, I don't think they're two of the same players, dude. You need to get something out of there. I think eventually, who would you choose, Jalen? I think Tatum. You gotta go Tatum. They probably
I'd go
Brown.
Tatum because, yeah, just Tatum can do more. He can show like he has like that mini Kobe in him, right? And we kind of just saw Jalen Brown. He hasn't proved that he can be the man yet.
Right.
Like they put the Celtics on Tatum's back, and he's proven like he can lead a team.
Right.
And Brown can't go to his left hand.
Exactly. He's a right-handed down only. But I think, yeah, like you said, 76ers, and if they would have picked Tatum and would have Embiid, they would have a ring right now. I agree with you on
I
that.
kind of want to see that happen.
I do too. That would be very
Or
interesting.
even for some reason Daryl Morey is stupid and Embiid goes to the Celtics. What about that? Embiid for Brown.
That would be crazy. I mean, seeing them, I just think them together. I mean, you probably have to get rid of Porzingis. I can't imagine you want to keep Porzingis
No.
with Embiid and them, but that would be nasty too, dude. That would be really nasty.
Damn. All right. So for the my third one is Brandon Roy for the Portland Trail Blazers never gets injured. So for the
Yeah.
young people or people our age who forgot about Brandon Roy,
Yeah.
back when he was balling like 2007, 2008, his last healthy season, there's an interview of Kobe, and Kobe said, if I had to pick one player who's like the toughest to guard and like is that man, Kobe said Brandon Roy. He basically said Brandon Roy could do everything that he could do. And like, that's how good Brandon Roy was. It was him and Kobe at the time. Him, Kobe, and Wade were the top even players or shooting guards in the league at the
Right.
time. And then there was a stat on Facebook I saw. Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Greg Oden, that one season they played together, they went 66 and 12. Obviously, they probably wouldn't have won a ring because that's a whole other story if
Right.
Greg Oden stayed healthy.
Right.
But I think if Brandon Roy never got injured, we would be talking about him like we talked about D-Wade.
I think so too.
Maybe even better than D-Wade because at the time he was kind of like a Kobe, like a minier version of Kobe. He could shoot the three better than Wade.
Right. He played 6 seasons. I'm looking at right now.
What's his all-time? What's his best season that he had?
The best season. Are we looking at points wise?
Points, yeah.
Points wise, he averaged 22 points back in 2008 and 9, which again we talked about this. You scored less points then, so 22 points is low key pretty good. His shooting splits were 37% from 3,
Yep.
50% from the field, and 82% from the line. So he was a killer, man. He was a killer. He was just like
And like
Kobe,
we
you
said, back in the day, especially if he was playing that season, would have been probably Aldridge's first year and Odin's first
Yeah.
year. Playing two other big-time names. 22 is actually kind of a lot
It is.
back then.
It is, and yeah, dude. Imagine if he stayed healthy and they ended up because when did they get Lillard? Lillard was 11 or 12, I think.
Yeah, because they kind of got lower because Roy and Odin.
Right, they got hurt and they weren't doing anything. Yeah, but imagine if he would have stayed healthy or never got hurt or just got hurt that season. Him and Lillard come up together. You probably wouldn't get McCollum. You never know how well they would have turned out to be.
Damn, like Portland could have been like a household name.
They could have had a ring or two, and that changes the whole NBA history how they would have been.
Like
You
instead
know?
of the history and the great games of Kobe versus the Nuggets, it could have been Kobe versus the Blazers.
Right.
Damn.
That'd be crazy, dude. It's sad, man. He was a good player.
I hate injuries.
I hate injuries too.
That's why I always go injury free on my 2K games.
Exactly. Keep that shit out.
I'm not trying to see freaking I'm playing, and all of a sudden I have my guy limping. He's like,
Right.
he's out for 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. Broken toe too is some stupid shit on
Or
there.
like back in like, I don't know if you ever saw this, it's like 2K16, it's like Jimmy Butler out for the season for thugging someone. I was like, what?
That was the best, dude. Oh,
I was like,
God.
no way.
Like, that doesn't make any
Now I gotta go
sense.
sign a free agent like Marco Bellinelli or something.
Right.
Sharpshooter though. But.
Marco Bellinelli, or damn, never mind. I thought there was someone in my mind. Oh, I forgot his name. He was a sharpshooter. Man, fine. We'll come back to it later. All right, so my number 3. What if the Big Three Nets won a championship with Harden, KD, and Kyrie?
They'd be one of the best big three ever.
You think about that, dude. When they joined in together, everyone was saying this is the best collection of talent we've ever seen.
Easily.
Ball dominant wise, I mean, I don't know how well the fit really was. Because they only played like, what, 11, 12, 13 games
I
together?
think the max is like 15.
15, okay, so you get 15 games again. If they stayed healthy throughout the whole time and ended up winning the championship like everyone predicted them to do, if they would have got one, how many more would they would have got? I mean, we know Kyrie and how Kyrie's loco in the head and he did his thing. Harden didn't want to be there anymore because of Kyrie, but if they would have all stuck together and won a championship, dude, that would have been nasty. They brought in Aldridge, they brought in Blake Griffin. Who else
They
was on the
had,
team?
they had a great team
They
of
did.
like stars, young players, and then good vets.
Right.
Damn.
What was that, 2021?
Yeah, because it wasn't last year. Yeah, the year before. It was like middle of the season for that huge trade.
Right. And I mean, think about it too. They did have fucking Steve Nash as their coach, though. I think if they would have got a different coach, I don't know if Steve Nash was really the best.
I saw a
Coach.
thing. I don't know what podcast I was listening to, but it was like maybe it was just like on ESPN, but they said obviously like because a lot of people give shit to Steve Kerr for like having that situation of coaching the Big Five,
Right.
basically.
Right.
KD and Steph and Clay and Dre.
Yeah.
But I feel like it takes talent to actually coach talent.
Right.
Because we saw that situation of Steve Nash and we see it with Doc Rivers lately. He's kind of choking with all this talent.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you have Pop who can coach any team and you can make a team that looks bad actually play good.
Right.
But it takes talent to like deal with the different personalities of like KD and Steph and actually just like tell them the right things. Like if Steph's having a bad shooting night, look at your plus minus, you're still balling.
Right.
So it takes skill still as a coach to be able to coach talent. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but you don't know how to actually like execute and match with those personalities.
Right.
It just goes all the ways. But yeah, Steve Nash was just not the man. I love Steve Nash, but he's more better like a personal belt. Basically how he was coaching with the Warriors, like helping one-on-one and stuff.
Right.
He just wasn't ready to be the head coach.
I do think if they brought in a Tyler Lue or someone of that caliber, it would have been different. But they didn't believe in Steve Nash as a head coach, obviously.
Like, yeah, Tyler had that team. Tyler would have been good. Hudson saying Steve Nash is bad too.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's
I
the
agree.
here.
We love Steve Nash as a player. His
Coach.
highlights back with the Suns, man. He was balling. He was like,
Oh yeah, he was.
God, I
He was
saw him.
two-time MVP.
Kobe should have won 1 year.
That's true. I mean,
1 year of them, but if you actually watch Steve Nash highlights, he was balling, bro. He was like a magician out
He
there.
was. He had that.
He was
those-
running the offense and man, shout out to Steve Nash as a player.
Yeah, as a player, not a coach.
Yeah. All right. Now my fourth what if.
Come here, buddy.
What if Kobe and Shaq never split up?
Yeah.
So if they never split up, say they figured out their shit, they lost to the Pistons, like we ain't losing the fucking Pistons again.
Right.
We're gonna come back strong. I think they could have won 2 more.
Yep.
Because I feel like that next year, it was 2005, the Spurs won. They beat
Yep.
the Pistons in 7 games.
Right. That could have been another what if.
I
was
think
thinking about, but-
that could have been the Lakers. So there's 4. And I think that's the time Kobe would have finally won Finals MVP.
Yep.
I think they would have gone like 6 finals in a row and would have won like 5 out of 6.
Yeah. You
And
think
then this,
Wade would never have his ring either because
Yeah.
Shaq would have never went to the Heat.
yeah, because then say like Kobe and Shaq do split up, but it's because Shaq's older.
Yeah.
I feel like Kobe would have won 1 more, and he could still had 6.
Right.
And damn, I just wish they never split up, but yeah, I think it kind of helped both legacies.
It
It
did.
showed that Kobe can actually do it all on his own,
Right.
and made that 09-10 finals even more meaningful.
Right.
And then it did help Wade.
Yeah.
So it did work out, but I just wish they would never split up because that was one of the best 1-2 punches we've ever seen.
I think another what if too is what if Shaq had the mentality Kobe did? What if he put in the work like Kobe did?
Then they're having 8 rings each.
Shaq could have easily, I mean, I don't know if you say this, I think already he's the most dominant player we've ever
He
seen.
could have been one of the best players ever.
He wouldn't even he'd be in the
Top 4.
top 4. He'd be with Kareem, MJ, and LeBron, and in your mind, Kobe too. But if he had the mindset and work ethic that Kobe did, and they didn't split up, you're right, dude. They would have been fucking.
Because if you ask anyone, most dominant player of all time, it's Shaq.
Yeah, you can't. He is such a big human, and when he was going to the rack, blocking shots, he broke like 4 fucking rims in the NBA.
He broke more rims than I'm sorry, CP3, but Shaq broke more rims than CP3 has rings.
Yeah, that's sad.
I mean, he's broken probably more rims than LeBron has rings, which is crazy.
That is crazy. Dude, he was that. Oh shit! Mic down, mic down.
Mic down. Mic down. But Shaq.